Alright, so hopefully this camera angle works, but I'm working at my buddy's place. Both of these pieces of equipment are his. He's just a successful business owner, and these are like his personal machines, which is pretty sweet. The skid steer I've been running on this job is a 2023 T650, Bobcat T650, and then this is a 2021 E60. It's the R2 series. For reference, and so that the bucket on the skid steer is just a standard material bucket. I think it's, I don't even think it's 7 feet. I think it's 6'6" maybe, but just the standard bucket. This is a 3-foot bucket, and it's I would say undersized for what I'm doing for sure. This could easily handle a 4-foot bucket. So there's some variables. I mean, this would be a lot quicker with the 4-foot bucket, but anyways, so loading with the skid steer, I was at about 7 minutes to load this truck, and granted this is a miniature truck, so it's not a full size, so it's pretty low sides. And ground loading with the excavator, it's substantially slower than the skid steer. I mean, it's over 10 minutes, but from a platform like this, which I was pretty curious, I was actually a little bit surprised. So I was from the ground with the skid steer, well, obviously from the ground, it's about 7 minutes on average, but from a platform with the excavator, even with this small 3-foot bucket, it's about 7 to 8 minutes. So it's almost identical loading from a platform with the excavator versus just loading with the skid steer, which kind of surprised me. I always prefer to load with the excavator, even from ground level, if I have the choice, just because it's a lot, I don't know, easier to be precise. But you know, if it's just a small pile and all you have is ground level, the skid steer is definitely quicker. But yeah, almost the same speed with the platform, which surprises me. So if this had a 4-foot bucket or a material bucket, it'd be a decent amount quicker than loading with the skid steer, which is a little bit surprising to me, I guess. This is a mid-size machine, you know. I think this is a 13,000 pound machine. That skid steer is a mid-size skid steer. I think it's about a 9,500 pound machine. So pretty apples to apples as far as the size of equipment goes. So yeah, pretty interesting that if I had a material bucket, I mean, even my 4-ton could definitely handle a 4-foot bucket. So this could absolutely handle a 4-foot bucket. And then it'd be quicker than loading with a skid steer, which is pretty interesting. A little bit of a surprise to me. One nice thing about using the excavator, it's easier to fill the corners in the dump truck as well. You know, with the skid steer, it's just too wide of a bucket to, even if you're scooping with the corner of the bucket, you can't quite fill the box as precisely. So that's nice about the excavator. I do like this machine. Jumping out, I was just running the 4-ton Kubota yesterday, so jumping straight out of one into the other one, it's definitely some differences. Controls feel a little different. This doesn't feel like huge compared to the 4-ton, but you probably have 1.5 feet more reach, which you notice right away. The range of motion on the bucket on this is better than the Kubota 40. How far, like how much you can dump and how much you can curl as far as degrees, you know. I just feel, I don't know, I feel like the 40 should have more range of motion than it does. It's fine, you get used to it, but like this, you can curl this bucket like 15 degrees more, and then you can also dump it probably another 10 degrees more. So I don't know, it's nice, it's more forgiving that way. I don't hit the end of the cylinders on this near as much as I find myself doing on the 40. Granted, I'm still kind of getting used to that after my U35, I was super used to where everything was on that, where the limits were. The hydraulic speed is probably similar to the 40. This is pretty quick. This might be a little quieter. This is definitely, the 40 I think is pretty quiet, but I think this is, might even be a little bit quieter than that. This is very quiet. Cabs, you know, obviously it's a 6-ton compared to a 4-ton, so the cab's bigger, everything's bigger, but overall it doesn't feel like a massive power difference or anything. This is pretty fun though. I like moving dirt. It's smoking hot. It is like 98 degrees today or something, which for Montana is very hot. Hopefully that helped somebody. I was definitely curious. I've always kind of wondered what the speed difference would be. I figured, you know, from the ground, loading an excavator would be slower, and it is. Not, you know, not half as fast, but, or not, yeah, twice as slow, however you want to say that. It's noticeably slower, but if you have a good sized bucket, I think it would actually be fairly close, even ground loading. Still be a little slower, but I bet it'd be marginally different, whereas from a platform with a 4-foot bucket on this, or even a 4-foot bucket on my 40, which I might end up with at some point, it would be quicker than a skid steer, which is good to know. So hopefully that helps somebody if you're curious or if you've been wondering. Yeah, hope that helps. Hope you guys have a good day.